Welcome, welcome, welcome to another edition of Vegas Bad Boys of podcasting. I'm your host, DJ Impact, and I got the Bad Boys here with me. Let me start off welcoming everyone to a new year. We made it, fellas.
We made it.
That's right. And we hope everyone who's listening had a great New Year's 2021. We're here, and we're also starting our third year in podcasting. So this is an exciting time for us. And some of you day ones remember our very first podcast and where we're at now. And we appreciate you still riding with us. We're slowly moving up that elevator. And we thank you for staying on with us. And we guarantee we're going to have a fun year this time. Hey, let's do some wrestling talk. And, there were some things happening, I guess, this week worth talking about. We'll jump over into WWE Raw first. What stood out, fellas? Anything from this past week from Raw, maybe with Miss Bliss, maybe?
Yeah, that was nothing short than fire.
Okay.
Going after the low-hanging fruit as always, Simon, huh?
Hey, if y'all not gonna grab it, I'm gonna grab that shit. I'm hungry as hell.
How do you mean that?
Well, not that low hanging. That ain't the fruit I want. No, I mean it was a cool Raw. I mean, the Hurt Business still dominant. I think it was interesting. The only thing that stuck out in my mind was a segment. It probably didn't stick out to anybody else, but it was a segment where they were walking, and normally they just totally always, if someone's in the way, they physically moving them or pouring large quantities of almond milk on people. But this time they just scared this person to where they just fell out and they just walked over them. I found it very amusing and entertaining that they switched that up versus what they've been doing. I know Matt Michael's going to say that's all you freaking thought of the whole thing of Raw is probably the best part.
No, I think that the Hurt Business really fucking sucks.
Ooh.
Just honest. Seriously, man.
Why?
Because
why? Explain.
The highlight for them is just what you described. That's it. That was it. The highlight of that was them scaring a guy so he fell down. They just walked over him.
I mean, that's entertaining shit, man. I've seen shepherds do that shit to goats.
You can. I'm sure you saw shepherds do many other things to goats too.
Well, I didn't see that part, but I'm just saying, just scare like a goat out of nowhere, and they just fall flat on their back. I mean, that's what the dude did. Thought it was hilarious. Okay. But are you saying that the Hurt Business has nowhere to go but to just what?
Exactly. I think you just said it in perfect sentence. They have nowhere to go but just what? That's what it really feels like, man. If this is going to be your premier fucking team or stable, then they should be the ones in the picture of the premier dominant picture. You didn't have Evolution around just to fucking be a mid-card fucking
That's true.
faction.
That's true.
And on top of that, what about he got so buried, and they're fucking trashing him, and they're ending his fucking career. And I just feel so bad for Keith Lee. So bad.
He has a title shot. Yeah. That's how bad we feel.
Otis and Keith Lee, man, they fucking, I mean, they're down in NXT, we barely get to see them anymore. It just kind of sucks that that Vince just doesn't like these guys.
Well, I tell you what, he's experiencing the upside of a step down that a lot of people were trying to say. I mean, he's doing very well, obviously.
He's doing great.
I mean, and like we talked about before on a couple shows back, this is a good thing, because if Vince didn't like your ass, at least from what we know, which is limited, your ass would be very visibly jobbed the fuck out. Let's just put it that way. And that's not happening for any one of those guys.
I think that everyone jumped to this fucking conclusion that they were demoted, and it's like, okay, you know what? You're all fucking idiots anyway. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. It seems like Raw. It's okay. It's not, it's not as bad as it has been at times. And I think
it's still 3 hours I can't ever have back every week.
Sure. Sure. And if you're smart enough to sit there and watch the 3 hours straight, then good for you.
Obviously.
You know what's so funny about how we all make fun of Raw? Like, could you imagine like a parody that was made about 3 hours of Raw and how agonizing it is to watch the full straight 3, that someone just pulls out some lube? It's like you're going to watch Monday Night Raw for the full straight 3 hours, where you're going to need lots of this and just keep pouring it and keep pouring it and keep pouring it. Because that's about the only way you're going to get through 3 whole hours of Raw and be satisfied at the end.
No, that'll be a Hurt Business segment next week.
Oh my God.
That's what it'll be.
There you go. I like that.
They're going to bring back Big Dick. Big Dick Johnson, and they'll just fucking oil him up, baby.
Look, I can just hear Vince in the background. We need more lube.
Get me some goats, too.
Michaels, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man. The Hurt Business are great. I know you have an unbridled hatred of Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin and everybody in the damn stable individually. But I mean, realistically, they're doing what they need to be doing on that brand. It still isn't an every week watch for me. It's one of those things where I still dread watching Mondays, but what they're doing with Alexa Bliss this week felt a little bit off. There were some flubbed lines. Timing was off with Orton, namely. I don't know if the backstage stories are true, as people say that when Randy Orton is when he's emotionally invested in a storyline or an angle, that it shows in his work. If that's the case, then he clearly wasn't invested in the segments this week. I don't know. It felt off a little bit.
I mean, he kicked those puppets in pretty hard, man.
Dude.
In the firefight.
Yeah. that was pretty
rambling rabbit, man. You got to feel sorry for that dude, man.
That motherfucker is destroyed.
Yeah.
Isn't it awesome that it took them 25 years to finally figure out how to have their own Kenny character from South Park?
Basically.
Right? Where they can just kill him over and over, and it's funny
right.
every fucking time they do it.
This is I think he's died more than Francesca, or died and was brought back more than Francesca now.
Yeah.
All we need is Hunter in a fucking cane mask and
oh, Jesus.
One of the most cringeworthy segments in all of wrestling. You talking about the funeral one?
Oh yeah.
Katie Vick.
Yeah.
Katie Vick in the house, y'all.
Rambling rabbit. Oh yeah.
Oh man.
We just want to remind everyone also, if you're watching us live, leave a comment in the chat and we will try to get it on. Perfect example. Shout out to Shant, who is watching us and typing in. He said, better than seeing Retribution on Raw. Come on,
but
you guys
did see Retribution.
We did see them.
Raw.
Yeah, we did.
Right.
Unfortunately, it was Mustafa Ali.
Right. Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's how they refer to him. That's what they refer to.
No, not that. I'm talking about the actual fact that how many times are we going to see him and Ricochet fighting over if Ricochet should be part of it? Okay. Just at this point, seriously, man, let him go to AEW.
I'm not gonna lie though, was not thrilled or convinced at the long not pause that was taken by Ricochet on giving an answer of if he's going to join Retribution. I just like, dude, for real? For real? FR? For
Yeah,
real?
you want to talk about not being invested in flubbing lines. There you go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is literally the second time that Ricochet's been doing this type of an angle. I mean, obviously, like, you know, he just got through doing the shit with the Hurt Business. Now he's doing the same shit with Retribution. What the fuck?
And okay, so here's the funniest thing that hits me, and that is, not only do you make that point, Steve, which is very true, but on top of it, the motherfucker was just with Ali, and they had no problem. Why wouldn't he just go with him if he's offering him an opportunity?
Why not?
Right.
At this point, like, it literally, dude has nothing. Dude has nothing going for him on WWE TV.
Yeah.
In canon, obviously. But
Yeah.
I mean, storyline wise, it would make so much sense if you had the Ricochet character go with Retribution. It's
Why
dumb.
not?
Well, my question is this. If he did go with Retribution, does he wear a fucking mask?
He did
Well,
in fucking Lucha Underground. Wouldn't be the
I
first
know
time.
Underground, but that's what I'm saying. I mean,
No, I'm just saying, like, it wouldn't be the first time that he'd be put under a mask.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't see why not, honestly.
You know what I'd like them to do is I'd like them to take Lucha Party and make them a part of Retribution, but they have to unmask.
But they can't. Although that would be entertaining, they're not going to do that because they're now on Wednesdays NXT.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, you know, hey, here's an idea. Let's just take Ricochet, put him on NXT, back on NXT with Lucha House Party. I'm just saying, they need a third member. Just saying.
You had it right in the first half of what you said. Just put him back on NXT.
Let's see. Yeah.
Hey, we got to give him some work.
That's
too,
it.
Man. We got to give
put him on back. Put him back on NXT.
Hey, he's the one and only.
Yeah.
But then he would be demoted.
It's not a demotion. Think of it as an opportunity to rebound.
Yeah, so that he can go down there and then Pat McAfee and those boys can beat him up constantly to tell him that he has to join their group. And then you put him on SmackDown, and then that way Roman Reigns and Uso and them can beat him up constantly to tell him he has to be in their group.
But you know what's even worse than that is he'll go to NXT. It'll be year's end awards next year, and Pat McAfee will be mentioned and Ricochet won't.
Yeah.
Well,
That's sad. I'm just saying. We got to do something for Ricochet that involves nonverbal talking and just doing that. Let's make him a Power Ranger.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's make him a Power Ranger. Get him a Morpher. Just saying.
Oh, wow.
well, is there anything else y'all want to mention about the great show of Raw this past week?
Great show, huh?
You know, well, look,
Yeah,
I tell you
no.
what. Well, I
Can
tell
you
you
hear
what,
me good? Can you hear me good?
Where exactly is the Firefly Funhouse too?
Mhm. I thought it
Uh,
was back
Parts
some-
unknown, obviously.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like they're like it's obviously backstage, and then sometimes it feels
No,
like it
it's
is
never
parts
backstage.
unknown. Really? Because
Yeah, it's in a parallel dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I guess.
Well, then my question is,
I agree with that.
if the Playhouse is in a parallel dimension, where is the playground at? Where what you call it? What do they call Alexa Bliss's playground? Is that what
Bliss
they
in the
call?
ring.
Well, I don't know where Alexa
Is it
Bliss's
called-
playground is, but I would damn sure love to find it.
Yeah,
I want to
no
know
kidding,
where
right?
it is because I'm just saying.
I'm just
Well, obviously that one's in the ring because
Is it in the ring? Is it in the ring?
Yeah, I think so.
Would you get in the
Yeah.
ring? Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
All right, I'll jump over to Impact Wrestling, which they gave a few awards out on their show, so we should just mention them. One to watch in 2021 award went to Chris Bay, our very own. So that's very exciting, and I know Simon Street probably want to add something about Chris Bay he saw over this weekend. But before I jump over to that, the tag team of the year was the North, which, you know, they did dominate those titles for a while. So Ethan Page and Josh Alexander. Match of the year: Eddie Edwards versus Ace Austin versus Trey versus Eric Young versus Rich Swann at Slammiversary. So that was their match of the year. And I would agree with that. Wrestler of the year. You ready? Deanna Purrazzo. Wrestler of the year.
Okay. All right.
Huh.
Maybe fairly improved wrestler of the year.
Most elevated.
Are we going to be contesting these results?
You can if you like to. I mean,
You know what? I will say this.
yeah.
I would have liked to give a nod to that if we got to see more of her for 2020. COVID kind of fucked up some things, but I do feel like if we had got 2 to 3 years, well, if I say 3 years worth of her, then maybe you could see that.
I mean, I would have
She kind of
considered.
just popped on. She kind of just popped on.
Dude,
I
3 years of her.
I would have considered Moose. I mean, I don't know. Moose has probably had
I would say
previous
Moose.
years, but I mean, he did an awesome job running around with this TNA title, making it seem like it is the most legitimate title over the Impact Wrestling, and had great matches defending it and all. So I mean, I would have maybe gave it to him, but
Why wouldn't you give it to Rich Swann? If you
That's
don't
what
have
I
the
was
fucking
thinking too.
pay-per-view-
Well, but Rich Swann was out for most of the point because he was playing on that leg injury.
Yeah, but Deanna Purrazzo was fucking there for
Well, I'm not-
a cup of coffee.
Well, true.
and
I'm
egg
not agreeing with
salad.
that. I'm just saying. Yeah. No, I hear you. So Simon Street, Chris Bay, what did you see that happened this past weekend?
Well, first of all, don't say it like I was like freaking there or some shit like that, because that's how rumors start. They'd be like, damn, Simon Street was there the whole time. Before you know it, next week, people just put me in places I would.
Simon Street, what did you see?
What did I read?
Chris
God damn
Bay?
it. What did I read? What did I read? Yes. There was an article that was floating around where Chris Bay, was working out at, the local EOS gym. And he said a comment that in reference to what The Rock usually does say when he's talking about his cardio day. Later on, The Rock retorted back and basically told Chris Bay is bullshit. I start earlier than you do. And I just thought it was funny, but even cooler because Chris Bay, for all intents and purposes, our boy, getting some shine from The Rock, regardless, just a response in general is a beautiful fucking thing. Rock, I will tell you right now, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, it has been a pleasure for you to experience what we've experienced for so long. The finesser, Chris Bay. You're welcome. I'm going to say it. You won't respond back to me like you did Chris Bay, because Chris Bay is somebody that like I've said it before, we don't know the ceiling. We don't know the ceiling. And he keeps shooting and keeps shooting. And I'm just saying, this is just that right direction. Maybe I'm thinking too big on it, but I was happy to see it. I called Impact, bugged him for like 30 fucking minutes just about that.
Yeah, there's a video with Chris Bay, acting like he's The Rock getting out of the Hummer vehicle. That's what it looks like, and just pretending, hey, it's 5 a.m. I'm The Rock, I'm about to get it in. And it was funny seeing The Rock respond back to that. Yeah, good stuff. It's good. If he grabbed this attention, it can't be a bad thing, right? So awesome. The big match, of course, that they're promoting so far is the Hard to Kill match. Of course, we have the Good Brothers and the AEW champion Kenny Omega versus Motor City Machine Guns and the Impact Wrestling champion Rich Swann. Saturday, July 16th. So far, that's the only match that has been announced, but a lot of people are looking forward to it. We are as well. It's going to be interesting to see what comes about that. So that's Impact Wrestling. We move right over to WWE NXT. Simon Street, what you got, man? How was the show this week?
I mean, the show was, you know, it was good, steady. I enjoyed it. The biggest thing that I actually enjoyed more than anything was year-end awards. Regal was kind of had them out throughout the different show. The matches, you know, were good. I mean, I'm not going to really talk too much about those, but I do want to talk about some of these year-end awards. You know, some of these year-end awards were pretty interesting because it mentioned a lot of like UK talent, and they kept the way they kept stating it. I noticed UK NXT UK on UK television, but they didn't win any damn awards. And I was just like, damn, I kept hoping for every category. Maybe Steve feels the same way. I want to at least see one of them win, but nonetheless, I don't want to run down the big one, but the one that I liked a lot, obviously was, you know, Shotzi Blackheart winning breakout star. I've said it before, and I know I've had conversations with you, Impact. I really do like Shotzi Blackheart. I like her energy. I like her character. You know, she seems to, oh my God, whatever. Anyways, besides the fact, I was really happy with her winning that. And then also too, tag team of the year. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna disagree just a little bit with the Undisputed Era. Although they are the prime spot you want to choose them, I still felt that Imperium should be tag team of the year. They held those belts for a good long time, and they were very impressive. And they faced I felt more competitors from the UK side and on the States than some of those other teams.
What?
So, okay, what? Explain.
Well, no, the only question I have on that is if they how did they face more people, because we had a pandemic, dude.
Well, I'm just saying in general, and I'm not talking about the whole year per se. I'm just saying that the
That's the year-end awards.
Oh my fucking
what
gosh!
What are you talking about?
You find every way to dissect everything. So basically, what I'm saying, let me re-say what I was going to say anyways. Is I'm saying that for them, they are a tag team that's their stable. That's
so you like them. That's great. Are they worthy of tag team of the year? No.
Yes.
No.
I think they are. I think they are.
Street, just make the hot tag to me because you're dying.
Yeah, here you go.
All right, so cool.
I mean, Matt
no, I think legitimately, you make a great point that
Sin City, I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep that thought. I just want to shout out Javon on our chat actually agrees with Simon Street. He's saying he's right. So go ahead, Sin City, go from there.
I was actually gonna kind of tie those two things together that you started to say, Simon, that they did need some sort of NXT UK representation as far as winners in the awards. If they were going to do that at all, this would have been the place to do it. And one could legitimately state that putting Imperium as the tag team of the year and winning that award would allow that the other NXT brands to get a little bit of shine, to get, you know, maybe even have them to, you know, I don't want to say launch into another rivalry about it, but hell, I wouldn't even have minded if we would have gotten that match one more time. Give us Undisputed and Imperium just as a little kind of a fun end of the year, beginning of the year, you know, blow off one-time match. I mean, shit, why not?
Because you have bigger fishes to fry, possibly down the line at War Games next year.
So you're saying save it, shelf it for War Games next year?
So put it on hold for another year completely.
Oh yeah.
That's
and by the way, with you know, with regards to War Games, they won a year ends as the event of the year. And I got to be honest with you, War Games to me, I look forward to every year for the last 3 years. I think we've had it for 3 years. I've looked forward to it. That probably gonna win that. They're gonna have to stop that category or just not allow War Games to be on there, because War Games probably gonna be the must-see event for NXT brand for years to come. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Always. I think one other thing that really should be shouted out as well is when WWE does something right, then we should put it over, because God knows that when they do something wrong, I bury it. So the NXT rivalry of the year, Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee. I think that award, I mean, nothing was even close in my opinion, just because of the mainstream appeal of roping in someone such as Pat McAfee. I mean, the guy's done, he's called Sunday Night Football. He's been a mainstream sports figure. He's played in the NFL for multiple years, one of the greatest punters in his era. And yes, I know punter, haha, laugh it up. But realistically speaking, no, like you have a former NFL player that grew up a professional wrestling fan that obviously can talk extremely well. So much so that he's probably one of the better mouthpieces on your entire brand. I think that rivalry of the year was absolutely perfect. And from the run-ins that they did on Pat's show to, all of the interplay between Adam and he throughout the entire year was just spot on. So
I also can concur and also add to this too. It was the most complete rivalry that we got to see build up. And I appreciate that just from a standpoint of the year 2020 that Mike Michaels had to say, you're in. I would say that's the only good one because NXT has never been shy of its rivals. You look at Tommaso Ciampa and Gargano, all their goddamn rivals that we had. I mean, so the bar is up is what I'm saying. So that was good for this year.
The chat seems to agree with the fellas. Matt, what are you disagreeing with?
Everything.
I'm disagreeing on the simple fact that this was the rivalry of the year and he was in the ring for a War Games match. That's it.
Well, the whole match wasn't just pinpoint on him, but the rivalry was him and Adam Cole, and what it spread out to is what my point is. Because if you think about it, it started off with Pat inviting Adam Cole to his show. And from there, it grew and it grew and it grew. And that's why I say I appreciate it. And to me, it is the undisputed rivalry of 2020.
There was nothing to it.
Other than
putting them in, he didn't wrestle. You're talking about wrestlers, and you have a guy who is one of the greatest punters in football history.
Okay,
I said in his era.
All right. Check this out.
Okay,
like,
fine, whatever.
Michaels, then who? Then who? Hold on. Then who?
So,
if it ain't them, then who? Who?
I would say that for me, if you narrow it down, I think that Priest and Gargano is my standout there.
That's your standout.
They actually fucking wrestled.
So the truth comes out. Do you feel much better now that you said it? Because Pat McAfee is not a wrestler. It just hurts your heart. It wounds you. Does it wound you so, sir, that you just can't see the obvious winner? I just don't understand it. It's not a fucking wrestling match. They just said a rivalry. If it was fucking Bob the Baker in fucking catering versus Adam Cole and the shit dragged on and it was fucking good and it was fire, that's the fucking rivalry. It doesn't matter who's not a fucking wrestler.
All right, so what else about NXT? Let's keep it moving.
Well, I was just going to say match of the year, obviously because it coincides with, toward the end of NXT, which I thought was good, was, match of the year, which was Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly. Essentially, an award was going to be given to both gentlemen. And, Finn Balor comes out and says, hey, I'm going to take this. You hold that one. I don't need that. I'm going to go give this over to Kyle O'Reilly. And, I again, NXT is doing things consistently to set up stuff for the next upcoming week, which is New Year's Evil Wednesday, this upcoming. I thought it was cool. Sets up for the match.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you had Priest and Karrion going after it. That was a good entanglement. I'll call it that. I hate your face when you do that, Steve. It's like your face is like you caught your parents making out just a little bit over the uncomfortable edge.
Well, I mean, you're the one that said that Priest and Cross had an entanglement, not me.
Scarlett was just watching it. Scarlett was just enjoying the two guys
Hey,
going at it with each other.
hey, what language was she speaking? I got to know because Scarlett, she's a beautiful woman, but she's never been somebody that, for me, just for me, grabs my immediate attention every time. But what she was speaking, I stopped what the fuck I was doing, and I was like, God damn, girl, say that shit again. That's beautiful language. What is that? Anybody know? Steve, you know this shit. What language?
For all I know, she was speaking in fucking tongues, bro.
I don't know whatever she was saying, man. Don't
Seriously.
tell me. Look, she could talk to me like that and tell me, look, Simon Street, go wash them fucking dishes in that language. I'm gonna go fucking do it right then and there. She was commanding shit. I'm just saying. Anyways, next.
The most important thing on NXT you're missing, and that was the fact
Always.
that Johnny Gargano broke the streak. He did not lose the title.
Okay.
That's the most important.
Yeah, something that.
I'm sorry, I didn't just read down a list of fucking end of year awards because I didn't.
Oh
read it.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. Every time you say this, man, but you're so far from the truth, man. I watched the whole fucking show 100%. All the shows. Trust me, I sure did. I did the 3 hours of Raw. It was
All right, so
horrible.
that concludes, I guess, NXT right there.
Mhm.
All right, let's jump over Sin City AEW.
This is how you do a tribute show.
Damn.
You know what? Real talk. F what Michael finna say.
And
Keep going.
like
Keep going.
Wow.
Kill all that noise. Go ahead, Sin.
Go ahead, man.
I would expect nothing less from you, Michaels, than for you just to shit can absolutely everything for no good fucking reason.
That's okay. Save your shit for later. Go ahead, Steve, because you about to make a grown man cry. You finna go into it, bro. Go ahead.
So I think that it's telling that with everything that they did in this show, from top to bottom, it's obvious that it was a show that I tried to find faults in it, Michaels, and I really couldn't. Given everything that had happened, they tailored everything from the matches on the show to the tributes to the very last segment. They really made it feel special, man. And I'm not gonna fault any other company or show or anything like that. I don't know if that's what you were thinking that I was doing by saying it, Michaels.
Oh.
But I think that I got emotional, and it's kind of hard for me to admit that, because that shows weakness. But realistically, the last segment, I was crying like a fucking, oh my God, dude.
Sure.
I had the waterworks going, and I'm not afraid to admit it. Between, seeing his boots getting laid down in the ring, seeing his wife and Brody Jr. -1 in the ring. And then that the music video was amazing. They got clips from WWE. They got clips from, his indie days. Obviously clips from BTE, the stuff that they're doing in AEW. Tony Khan presenting -1 with the TNT championship, naming him TNT champion for life. That is a shoot, by the way. They are redesigning the belt, and they're going to give Darby Allin a new title. Whether it remains the TNT championship remains to be seen. If they rename it the television championship, then that could be something that they do as well. But it was a really emotional show. I
wanted to ask one
man.
thing too. So I just have one question to ask. I'm just curious if this possibly could have missed the mark, and on one particular spot on the show. For me, Eddie Kingston came out He says, I
Thank
miss you.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
love
Thank
you,
you.
Brody
Thank you.
Lee.
Thank you.
He says, but I'm about to prove that you can't win without him. And then they won the match, meaning it made it seem like, well, they didn't need Brody Lee. I thought that right there. I was like, oops, why would they do that? That was my only thing out of the whole show.
They never needed story. That fucking was bullshit.
Yeah.
That and the whole thing with MJF, just going total. You don't need story. Just do the matches and give us more tribute too.
If anybody could pull off going heel on a tribute show, it's MJF. Seriously.
But why?
Why wouldn't you? Literally, he's the only person in the business that's keeping kayfabe alive. He's the only person that is continuing to be an outright heel to people. So I don't have a problem with him being that guy on this show.
But
he ultimately got his comeuppance at the end of the show. He took the cane shot to the head. I don't have a problem with it.
So what? He did the same thing Kingston did. He comes out, he makes a heartfelt thing, and then all of a sudden it's character. Fuck it. It's a tribute. Just let the guys fucking work. Have an honest tribute. Don't try to fucking shove story into it.
Well, the one thing that I can say is, even with that, all right, one of the best tributes that I've seen since the Attitude Era. Just gonna be honest with you. Now, maybe it was just because the last one that sticks out in my mind was Eddie Guerrero, just in my head. But this was by far the best tribute. And the big part is how you started. And it's something that WWE really does shy away from, and that's the 10 bell. To me, growing up, before you try to dissect it, okay?
WWE does the 10 bell every fucking
No, they don't.
time.
No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. They do their video packages very well, but they don't always do that.
Owen Hart had a 10 bell tribute. Eddie Guerrero had a 10 belt tribute.
Okay.
Chris
Who else?
fucking Benoit had a 10 belt tribute.
Okay. Who else? So
It's
what
all the tragedies.
So the only time, what you're saying, because I asked the same question.
The only time that they do a tribute show is when the death is a tragedy.
Anytime someone dies is a tragedy. True? Well, I'm just saying.
No, not in these circumstances. You didn't do a tribute show for Pat Patterson when he passed away.
Why wouldn't you? He died. He had a large work. He left a huge impact. I'm just curious, because you bring up a good point. Breathe just a little bit. All right, breathe just a little bit. I'm just saying you bring up a good point. For me, I want to see for everybody that passes away. I want a 10 bell for everybody that passes away, whether it's tragedy or not.
Didn't Pat Patterson get a 10 bell?
Patterson did get a 10 bell.
Okay, I thought he did.
He did get a 10 bell, but he didn't get a tribute show.
It wasn't a tribute show.
Right.
And that's the point that's got me. You want okay, fine, if you want to acknowledge him with the 10 bell, but I mean, what are you going to give Kamala a 10 bell?
Why not? Just the 10 bell. I mean, how long does it take to do the 10 bell? 5 minutes?
The 10 bell is supposed to be something that is very special. If you do it every time someone dies, then it dies down. Listen, I had no problems with the show other than the fact that they were doing in and out of kayfabe. Just fucking make it a tribute. And that's one thing the WWE does do. The guys go out there and they wrestle their ass off, and it's tough, and we've seen it, but we've only seen it on a couple of occasions, right? Because it's tragedies that then ensues a tribute show. That's why.
I mean, I see,
great. And
I see that.
AEW did great with the video package. The 10 bill tribute was great to open up the show. Doing the thing with the kid was wonderful. The only problems I have is when you have stuff that is supposed to be a tribute and you don't make it feel like a tribute because you're trying to, fuck around with your character.
I agree with you.
Or just have a one-on-one match or something that, you know, you can use your character during the match itself, but don't fucking go into, you know, kayfabes and shoots and then
But let me ask you this question though, because you make a good point. But what I also saw too was, you know, I don't know much of the Carney life. I'm gonna be real with you, okay? But if I would imagine from an ignorant standpoint that a celebration of life for a Carney family would be something like that. Do you see what I'm saying? And for wrestling coming from the roots of, you know, Carney, you know what I mean? Them being in character is part of business. This man loved the business, you know. He also loved being a father, which I think they were very pointed about, being a husband. But I'm saying, like, if it's a celebration of life, it's every aspect. Do you see what I'm saying? Like he was always, they say he's always sarcastic. He was always supportive. Those things showed throughout the show. You know, everybody from the tributes, the monologue tributes that they did. I honestly see your point, but I felt it was in good taste to do, you know, some of the, you know, kayfabe things. I thought it was cool. The MJF thing, I thought it was cool. Yeah, I felt like it didn't hurt anything. I mean, not everything has to be, you know, so straight cut, man. This is his man's life. Everybody had a good time. You enjoyed it too. I could tell.
Well, I think we all enjoyed it. I don't think anyone is debating that, but definitely I did think that that Eddie Keith thing, that whole thing was just like whoa for me, because I think that's probably should have maybe been the only match maybe that the Dark Order could have lost, and then they could say, you know, I guess it is true that they needed Brody Lee to win that match, because other than that, it made it seem like, well, I guess we don't. You know, that was the only thing I thought they were kind of missing off of that. But
also the other thing too is that, and I think this is where you had Eddie Kingston do a confessional that was really heartfelt.
Right.
So you didn't need to go out there. If you're going to have him go in character, just have him go out there in character then. Fine. And don't say that specifically. But the fact of the matter is that that's where everything just was like, oh, come on, man. Just why does he have to even get on the mic? He cut his fucking promo and it was great.
Well, you know what I will tell you that get me choked up. What does get me choked up is when there's really tough dudes that something tugs at the heartstrings. Like that gets me. Like, if
and that's what I wanted to see more of.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying, well, I'm talking about with Moxley, because a lot of what he was saying, man, there's a lot that's probably was going through his mind too, because you're about to be a father. And the one person that you were on the road with that showed you that example of what it meant to be a father, they all talked about it. And I can relate to that, being a father myself. One of the greatest things I will ever do. Do you see what I'm saying? That got me, because I was like, dang, he didn't even sound totally like Moxley character. He was just being him. And that was beautiful. That is stuff that I like to see, because it really talks about, I mean, these are people we love. They do more than entertain us. We look forward to seeing them each and every week. And when we get to have a bird's eye view of any capacity of who they were as a person outside of the character, man, that's a beautiful thing. And he left the impact and touched everybody he worked with. I mean, like, man.
I will also mention here, which actually in our chat, Javon is correct. Eric Rowan was awesome. He quoted in our chat, and he did show up as well. So that was great to see.
Yeah, I was actually about ready to mention that.
Okay.
I thought that was something that, you know, I figured that I'd let the two of those two kids that I'm looking at on my screen, you know, have their little hash out fight right there. That's cute.
Hey, you do it too, man. You do it too.
I know. I'm giving you shit. So, but no, the one thing about that I thought that was really, really funny is obviously you've got Jericho on commentary, and, you know, Eric runs out, and you've got Chris Jericho on the mic losing his fucking mind that Eric Rowan is here. Eric Rowan, which is trademarked by WWE. So you had Excalibur, every time that Jericho says Eric Rowan, immediately yell, Redbeard, almost like trying to correct him.
Yeah, I caught that too.
That was probably the most comedy that I had from AEW for sure. Again, see, you know, hearing Jericho lose his shit, And at the same time, Excalibur representing the Office, basically. Just, oh shit, you can't say that. That kind of a thing. It was awesome.
Yeah.
What did he also mention the Bludgeon Brothers? And he also and then some people were naming other names they had, but I don't know if those were trademarked as well. But the Bludgeon Brothers for sure was trademarked. I was like, what is the penalty for that? If you get caught doing that and WWE wants to be an asshole and sue you, which they can be assholes, how does that work? Does Jericho just say, here, I'll just however much the penalty?
Yeah, it's a tribute.
I don't think that they would stoop that low.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm just wondering, like, man.
No, the only thing that comes of it is that people on the internet who are quote unquote journalists are the ones who go, he got in trouble.
Yep.
Yeah. That's it.
Well,
so
we need those people.
Right? Yeah, it's can't imagine.
We need more
being
Bruce
like
Mitchells in our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we'll talk about that.
Yeah, a little bit later.
All right. Well, is that it for AEW's Sin City?
Yeah, I mean, it was good to see Anna Jay, who will be a star in the AEW women's division. She really stood out in that tag match with Tainara Conti against Britt Baker and Penelope Ford. And then obviously the negative one's favorites, as they were labeled, Cody Rhodes 10 and Orange Cassidy against Team Taz. I think that that was a fun match all around.
And then, of course, who can forget?
No, here it comes. Here it comes.
Huge,
here it comes.
Huge appearance
here it
of
comes.
Sting.
I knew it. I knew it.
Fucking necessary to have Sting on the show.
No, dude, they need the fucking snow. Okay, if you want snow, you call fucking Sting. Okay, that's the way it works in AEW. Okay, if you don't like that shit, this too bad.
Well, talking about the snow, why do we have to look at the snow machine?
That's a great call. That's a great call.
Yeah, I got you. Hey,
I don't want to see the machine. I mean, we're supposed to just believe it's snowing. I mean,
it's expensive, man. It's expensive. They got to.
Hey, man, do you legitimately think that people have that degree of willing suspension of disbelief to think that it's going to legit snow in Jacksonville, Florida?
No, are we talking about the actual people in Florida thinking that? There's a good percentage that would.
Yeah. It snows down here.
Yeah, great call. Great call.
What you ain't never seen an alligator in the snow before?
Oh shit.
Let's face it, it's fucking out there. It's not fake snow, it's cocaine.
Hey, that's it. You know what?
Florida, man.
You ain't lying. There's a lot of keys that go to and fro.
Anything else, man, you want to mention?
No, man, we're good.
Okay, all right. Let's jump over, man, into SmackDown. Matt Michaels, what caught your interest?
Well, let's face it. Anything that Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens do now is just worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's man, But outside of that, let's hope that Sonya Deville gets a little more love now. I don't really know what you're going to do with her in terms of what all you have. It's tight, dude. The women's division only gets better and better. And even with this, seeing the tag team match, so to make the Riot Squad look stronger, you have someone like Natty who has to go through more losing to make them look legit, which is, Tamina and Natty probably are two of the most MVP type components you have, because those guys are always used to make other people look better. I don't think Natty has had the glory of having a career that's been over a decade now. I think she just gets under recognized for what she brings to the table, and that women's division is just, it just keeps getting better and better. I think it's cool to see what they're doing with Otis getting a little rub with Daniel Bryan.
There was a lot of there was a lot of rubbing in that segment where Daniel Bryan was rubbing all over Otis. I ain't gonna lie, man. I wasn't paying attention, and all of a sudden I hear and I look and I'm like, Daniel Bryan is humping the back of Otis. It's like going on the 5th thrust, and I was like, God damn, he's putting it all in there. The hips is just jamming in there. And then it's all in the hips.
Yeah, he's trying for a third daughter there. So
oh boy.
And speaking of women's division 2, you get the Bianca Belair Banks versus Carmella and Bayley. This is one of those matches I like to say one of those things are not like the other, and that would stand out being Barbie over there in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. But it's amazing because look at that talent. You got Bayley, Sasha, and Bianca. Jesus Christ. Right there. Like that. If you just took those three, put them in AEW, boom, there's a legitimate women's division with their added talent to that. And that's the thing that blows my mind is the WWE right now has just been able to cultivate this whole women's revolution into some more interesting stuff than some of the other stuff. But SmackDown is definitely a better show. Anytime you get to see Big E and Apollo Crews together, which Apollo Crews it still blows my mind how they have not been able to figure out what the fuck to do with him. Same with Corbin. It's like here you have this heel who people just hate Corbin, and it's just like
you don't like Corbin and the Brothers of the Lone Wolf. The Brothers of the Lone
It's not that I don't like them. It's like every time Corbin you start building him into one angle, it just kind of dies out and then it moves into something else. And it's like he keeps going from here to here to here. And he, should be a little more of a top heel, but put him with Sami Zayn. And Sami, I mean, again, that show has so many people who anything they do is fucking good right now.
Yeah.
And you can clearly tell too, because you say Sami Zayn, and we've talked about it before, especially you can tell who don't need the title.
Yeah.
Bayley don't need the title. She's still working. She's still working the storyline, and I'm excited. You see what I'm saying? Sami Zayn don't need a title. I'll be real with you. I'm waiting for whoever's going to take that belt off of Roman Reigns, because I'll even say that Roman Reigns don't need a title. And a lot of people would disagree with me on that. I think Roman Reigns is to the point now he don't need the title.
I don't think he needs the title, but at the same time, the only reason you have a title on someone like
serves
him,
a purpose.
Yeah, it's just the legitimacy of it. Let's face it, Brock Lesnar, by him not being around and people complaining, that showed that they need to do something where the champions on the brands are basically there, which I don't think you need. And one of the reasons I think you're kind of right on that is that technically I don't even need to see Roman on the show every week.
No.
Yeah. I could just see, Jay
Paul Heyman
when he's back and Paul Heyman, right? Mm-hmm. And kind of doing the bidding while Roman is like in Hollywood filming a movie or something,
Sure.
To just make him even more that one like fucking hateable is, he's better than us. Not only is he better than everyone in WWE and the WWE universe, but he's also better than everyone in Hollywood. And obviously, when you look at potentially building up a Rock versus Roman thing, boy, I hope they don't pull the trigger this year, not only because of the potential of not having the audience, but boy, could you imagine if Roman does well. And could you imagine if Roman actually does do well in a movie that is successful within the next 2 years?
Oh, it's for sure gonna
Mhm.
happen. It's for sure gonna happen. I'm surprised it hasn't happened. Other than the Fast and the Furious spinoff.
Well, and
Avatar.
and what really surprises me too, and this is so funny to me, is that when you look at Roman and you look at Aquaman, it's like Jason Momoa is great, but fuck, man, I think Roman Reigns would have been even better in that role.
Now
And
you know what's
boy,
gonna happen. They're gonna typecast him as the next big villain in Aquaman. I guarantee it.
Sure. Yep.
The fight scene to win them all. Every woman's gonna be piqued to see both of them men take their shirt off and wrestle one another.
Yeah, pretty
In
much.
CGI.
I
Hey,
mean, listen, honestly, if you look at Magic Mike and you can go, wow, Kevin Nash could pull off a stripper role, then I would say that the women would really get worked up over seeing Roman Reigns and Jason Momoa just kind of, rolling around there. And
you
I
know
think a
what?
couple of the fellas would too.
Maybe. But I will say, on outside of that whole thing that you just said, I have a bit of a fantasy prediction. All right. Because we don't have it on the show as we normally do. So I've taken the liberty of fulfilling that role. Hopefully, I will be as genuinely as befuddling as what we normally get. But I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think the person to take the belt off for Roman Reigns, and if you can set up The Rock interfering to make it happen, then wait a year to sell it, Daniel Bryan. And only reason why I say that, it's a long shot, is let's say he wins this Royal Rumble. Yeah, you're looking at your eyes. How good would it be for fan service and a nice tall glass to shut the fuck up? Because it was the number one reason that people hated Roman Reigns back in the day.
Mm.
Y'all remember that?
Mhm.
Who should have not been thrown over in the Royal Rumble that year? I'm just, that's all I got. Hopefully you're annoyed as much as normal. Can I get a 7? Can I get an 8, bro? Give me an 8 on the annoyed Michael of the groom.
I mean, I don't even know where to begin with that logic, but
Then that's good. I think I might even have got a 9 off of that shit.
I mean, I don't really see any reason for Daniel Bryan out of anyone in the world to
Well,
win
he
the
only has a
Rumble.
year. He only has a year on his contract. For what I'm hearing, he ain't re-signing nothing after this year. That's it. That's donezo. That's what I've been hearing. Now, I have not confirmed that information
He's
or
got sources.
substantiated. I've just been hearing that around the rumor mill at different
Mm.
little sites all over the place. Now, I don't know because I am not a journalist. Okay, but I'm saying I've been hearing a lot that whenever his contract is up, his contract is up.
I don't even know where to start with this.
I told y'all I was going to try and bring what we don't normally have at the show. Y'all
So
should be
Simon, would
thinking-
you say that that's the word on the street?
No, but it's the smark around the neighborhood.
I'll tell you this, going over to
What the fuck?
yeah. Going over the chats, John says that Lashley or Edge champion at the Royal Rumble.
Mm.
So I don't know. I know Matt Michael would be like,
I'd
not
be
Lashley.
100% cool with Lashley just
be
to
cool with
piss
it.
Matt off.
Yeah.
Mhm. Anything to piss Matt off.
My God, Lashley?
And then he has to give a speech afterward. And from now
I'm
on,
just quoting.
he cuts all his promos. MVP doesn't talk for him anymore. Only Lashley is allowed to speak.
Yep.
Does he get back with Lana?
Yes, even worse. And on top of that, you're trapped in hell with a whole bunch of fucking great, delicious cookies and no fucking milk.
Listen, he is the chief hurt officer. So I mean, that's a pretty
Look,
high position.
Look, I gotta be real with you. If I had a girl, I wouldn't bring her around anybody named the chief hurt officer. Like, I don't want your girl near me, bro. I'm dead serious. Chief hurt officer. What the fuck that mean?
And
Well,
amazingly, just bringing that up just made me realize that even though we mentioned the fact that Keith Lee, gets a title shot and is doing great, blah blah, There wasn't any direct mention of Drew McIntyre. That really says something about your champion never being mentioned.
True.
He likes to fight with his friends. That's the most interesting thing that's happened these last 2 weeks.
Let me
it's
ask you-
laughable.
Let me ask you guys this. Did you catch the same thing on SmackDown? Because it wasn't referenced at all by the commentators, but when Big E was having his match against King Corbin, it seemed like that was a quick kind of tribute to Brody Lee. He did the alligator roll with King Corbin, which is not a movie that he normally does. And then there was a part in there where, I don't know if you heard it, but I don't even know what you call what Luke Harper when he used to make that sound, but it sounded like it's a yodeling.
Yeah.
Even Big E had did that as well, but he wasn't on camera at that point, but you heard it. Did you guys catch that? It seemed like it was a tribute, but again, it wasn't. The commentator didn't say nothing, and I probably wouldn't. But I just thought that was pretty cool for him to, because I caught it immediately when I saw the alligator roll, and then I heard it. I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." So, that's pretty cool that they were able to do that, and Big E's the man now. So what are they gonna tell him? If they even caught that,
Mhm.
But
they're gonna tell him, hey, you're gonna wrestle with Apollo Crews as your partner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Because that's worked out so well for so many people.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right.
But you know what?
Uh-huh.
I'll just say this, and I don't want to pick at this sore. I appreciate the love that WWE has pushed forward into the Black wrestler. Okay, it's been apparent. We appreciate it. Let's not overextend that into the realm of is it just making sense at this point? Why do we have Big E going? His first opponent is Apollo Crews. Nothing against Apollo Crews. He's good, awesome, but he just pops up out of nowhere. There's some other people that I would have put him in the program with, possibly. I just don't want it to be to where, okay, Big E's the champion. Let's give him Apollo Crews, and then next we give him, I don't know, someone else who's struggling to establish themselves on a new brand. That's all I'm saying. Give him some give Big E some big ass fucking competitors.
Well, he'll probably get big names, but as you
want some big names.
But as you move towards the pay-per-view, you get that. I mean, we don't want to see him fighting against somebody big next week on SmackDown.
Well, I'm only talking about pay-per-views. First off, I'm only talking about pay-per-views. I'm talking about building up something leading to a pay-per-view.
Yeah, well, I mean, his match next week isn't. I mean, it's just a TV match.
I am scared that will turn into an extended tour between Apollo Crews and Big E. Who else is feeling the same way? I'm a little scared.
Apollo!
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's jump over then to ROH. I will say they did I guess what they call the Ring of Honor Dojo match. So some of these names, I mean, I'm not familiar with majority, and you guys may or may not, but it was Ken Dixon and Eric Martin versus Dante Caballero and Joe Keys. So again, these are up and coming wrestlers, but they did a dojo match, and Dante Caballero and Joe Keys won that match. So it was cool to see something on that angle of people you don't know, I guess, working their way to eventually get onto the main roster. And then the last match,
these four guys did not test negative or test positive for COVID, so I guess we'll use them in a match to cover people who couldn't get here. I think that's one of the reasons they did it, is because I think that with the holiday travel and stuff, I don't think they taped anything recently. So
well, the only thing is they also had a Christmas surprise 10-man tag match. So they probably could have used some of the people in this 10-man that could have. Yeah, so they did have a 10-man. They had the team captain Mark Briscoe go against team captain Jay Briscoe, and the only way that they can pick their opponents is by opening gifts. And when they opened their gifts, they saw who their partner was. And of course, Mark Briscoe, he ended up with Beer City Bruiser, from the Bouncers, Dak Draper, Hot Sauce Tracy Williams, and Dalton Castle. And Jay Briscoe ended up with Flip Gordon, John Walters, PCO, and Brawler Milanis from the Bouncers as well. And of course, you probably, well, I don't know. Who do you guys think won that match? Take a
I would
Briscoe
say
or Martin?
the fans won that match because of that.
Okay. Hey, you know what? We'll go with that because it was actually a great match. All right. So Ring of Honor, they're still at it. And as always, we tell you, if you get a chance, check them out as they are, they're back and they're doing good wrestling.
And it's interesting too, because like today in the middle of the afternoon on my LV, they had Ring of Honor on, but it was like a holiday best of or year-end best of type
Well,
thing.
it was like COVID 2020. It was something like that. It was a package they put together, people's responses of where they were. I think Matt Taven had said something about his experience when he found out about when COVID was. Yeah, that's what I watched this afternoon as well.
Yeah.
So there, you can see different things as well. Just keep your eye out for ROH.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Sin City Steve, man, and I guess we could say tonight. I mean, for those who
going on right now.
It's going to be in a few hours.
4 in the morning, right? 4 in the morning.
I think it's 3. In fact, I got some notes on it for Wrestle Kingdom. Let me see if I can if I could bring that up.
You got them names ready? Them pronunciations?
No, stop it. I don't think I'm gonna give you that tonight.
Oh, come on. But we look forward to it every time.
Bro, it is what I look forward to every
It
week on the
is.
show.
I'm dead serious. You make me sometimes want to change my name. Just so you can just butcher the shit out of it.
Well, first off, let's do this. Let's talk about how you can watch this. It says that, okay, so the first night, of course, it begins Monday, January 4th at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I guess that's midnight. Is that midnight?
Midnight.
Wow, it really is. Okay.
Right after
midnight. And then the second night, day 2, will go down at the same time, for midnight for us, or 3 a.m. Eastern. And it says, if you're looking to watch Wrestle Kingdom 15 online, subscribing to New Japan World, the company streaming service is one way. And then he wrote, and I don't know how true it is, but it says signing up isn't exactly the easiest. But if you want to watch as much New Japan content as you can, it may be worth subscribing about $9.16 a month. I don't know why he would think that it's why it's difficult to sign up, but and then also Fight TV
$9.60 or $9.16.
16.
What an odd fucking.
It's 999 yen. So
okay, well,
so I guess when convert, I guess
well, no,
right?
because of exchange rates. That's why it's why it's different.
Right.
So,
yep. And then Fight TV will offer each night of Wrestle Kingdom 15. It says separately or as part of a bundle. So if you're looking to watch night 1 or night 2, you can purchase them for $19.99. If you prefer to watch both days, you can purchase the full set for $29.99. And the fans will be able to watch the replay of the event at any time until January 31st. It seems like you definitely should just get it from New Japan. I mean, they have a better price.
Well,
and
what's the difference in yen?
I can't tell you that.
fuck off.
But
You know what? You know what the funny shit is there's gonna be a time where COVID is gonna be gone, and we gonna get an invitation to go to Japan. And when your ass go, I'm gonna ask you that damn first thing we get off on the fucking plane. I'll be like, hey Matt, what's the currency exchange on them yens? I'm gonna ask you that shit.
On them yens.
On them yens.
on them yens, yeah.
Not them yams, because we gonna need some yens to buy some yams.
And then I'll go, excuse me, police. This guy's not with us.
What you talking about, man? We gonna have Impact in there. They gonna be taking pictures with his ass.
Oh boy, here we go. Hey, Sin City, let me ask you. So for the first night, is there anyone of that match you're really looking forward to seeing on night one?
Yeah. Obviously, the easy answer would be seeing Naito and Ibushi.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But I think that one other match that is really going to, I think it's going to take a lot of people by surprise. I think that Hiromu Takahashi and El Phantasmo will have a match that could definitely steal the show on night one. The
winner will face Taiji Ishimori for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship on night 2.
There you go.
All right, you practiced that.
Give us a couple of names. I like it.
How many hours did you practice that, man?
Stop it. I just did that right now.
We're all pitching in to get you a Rosetta Stone, by the way.
I actually think that Okada and Ospreay can have a really solid match as well. So, yeah, those 3 matches, no disrespect to anyone else on night one, but I think that those 3 matches are what I'm kind of locked in on for night one for sure.
So, guys, next week when we start our show, we're going to start right off on Wrestle Kingdom. We got to talk about it. It's going to be great, I'm sure. And if you can, try to watch it tonight.
So you mean we don't have to show up until about 30 minutes in, so you and Steve can talk for the first
No,
time?
because you can watch it too and take some notes, and then you can let us know what you think about it.
And the $30 for my Fight TV download?
No, $9.16.
I'll pay your fucking $10 for New Japan World.
There you go.
Straight up. If you actually watch
Not 30.
it, Michaels, I'm telling you this right now, seriously. If you're down, I'll buy your month subscription to New Japan World for you if you watch the shit and then be an active participant next week.
Talking about you're inviting him, all he's gonna do is shit on everything.
Oh, I know, I'm well aware. You think I don't know who I'm dealing with here?
Yeah, because he's not gonna find a goddamn thing. That's
Matt Michaels is one of the most morose motherfuckers in all of podcasting and newsletters, other than Bruce Mitchell. Okay.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know what morose is, but it sounds like you a negative Nancy motherfucker.
That's my ring name, Nancy Morose.
Nancy Morose. Watch somebody take that shit. That shit would be hilarious.
So if let's say you get the subscription to New Japan, if you get to it, it allows you to watch it like on Tuesday or Thursday or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I might just do that then.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Come down. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Damn, I wish I was the asshole. I would have got that deal. I would have took it real quick.
You'll never be the asshole, Impact. You will never be the asshole. You are the quintessential Carl Winslow, Uncle Phil.
No.
Yeah, you're the TV dad, man.
Yeah.
And I won't give you my passcode and information.
Shit. All right. I will find a way to watch it, fellas, by paying the $9.16.
There you
How about
go.
that?
What you think about it is, I'm sure you will, because you already find a way to watch Impact TV all the time, because you got the access.
Yeah, I got access.
Better, it's in his fucking name.
No shit.
Well, fellas, that is our wrestling talk for this week. Good way to kick off the new year. Some promising things. We got Rumble coming up, so we'll see how that's going to come around. You have again the Hard to Kill coming up. Got Wrestle Kingdom 15. I mean, there's a lot. This whole month. I mean, you're gonna have almost weekend after weekend after weekend. We're gonna be watching. I forget. I think ROH has one too. I got to figure out the name of it.
Yeah, I forget but they do.
Yeah. So a lot's going to be going on. But again, we thank everybody who was hanging out with us. Shant and Javon. I think we saw, was it Ringsiders? I think popped through. Yep. Quite a few people. Thank you all for just hanging out with us in the chat.
Shout outs to our
Eh,
boy John Perry. I haven't seen you in the
Mm.
chat before. If you've been in there, I'm sorry, but yeah,
Mhm.
shout outs to you, man, as well.
Yes, absolutely. And every week, jump on. We get on about 8 p.m. Pacific. That's 11 Eastern. If you having a hard time sleeping out there in New York or so, hey, jump on and we'll entertain you and keep it real fun. So, with that, that's our wrestling talk, and we'll see you next week. Peace.